I'm wearing this cozy, actually this is a jacket, like this is a coat, this is not like a sweater or whatever, but it feels like you could wear it that way. But it is a gift from my mom. It is also for a wolf association, so I will link it down below if you're interested in that. It's so cozy, it's so warm, and it is actually a jacket, but I'm not gonna use it as a jacket. What's up? I hope you guys. So today we're here to talk about the book I didn't really enjoy in 2020. In 2020 I didn't DNF any books, or I didn't give any book 1 star. I only have 2 stars to show you, and I already forgot how many. 12. I gave 12 books 2 stars in 2020, and actually the majority of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no, half of it only, not the majority, are ebooks or audiobooks. So I'm getting pretty good at buying books that I think I will enjoy and listen to audiobooks or get the ebooks of the books I'm not sure I'm gonna love, to just not have all the books I don't like on my shelves, if that makes any sense. So I'm pretty good about that, except that 2 books in this pile that I did enjoy, I got them from boxes, so that means I got 4. So I bought 4 books I didn't enjoy that much, which is actually super good. I have a few unpopular opinions here. I know. Your favorite books might be my least favorite books, and my favorite books might be your least favorite books. And those opinions are mine. I'm not attacking an author. I don't feel like I should say that, but if you are an author, please don't watch this video because you don't want to read about someone or to listen to someone who didn't enjoy your work. You want to surround yourself by people who actually enjoyed your work. Unless you are looking for constructive criticism or whatever, but this is not what this video is about. I'm just gonna say the books I didn't like and why I didn't like them, and that's pretty much it. So I feel like I should not be saying this, but apparently we have to say this. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm not attacking even the publishing house. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm just a human being who doesn't love everything in the world. So let's move on. The first one is actually Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff. The first one was actually a 3 stars, I feel. The second one was a 4 stars, and the last one a 2 stars. I knew from the very beginning of the very first book that I will not enjoy or love that series because it is not something for me. I believe I have an issue with assassins in the series, and I don't know what it is. I don't know, because the first one I gave it 3 stars or 2 stars, but I wasn't into it. It was beautiful. I love the footnotes. I love the tone of J. Kristoff's writing. I love his writing style. I love how dark it was and how vivid, etc. it was. The story itself wasn't bad, it just wasn't for me. The second one, I feel like I liked it a bit more because it wasn't about learning how to be an assassin, it was about acting as an assassin, so I liked the dynamic a bit more. And then the third one, I just didn't care about any of the characters. I just really didn't care. It wasn't for me, so I read it, but I didn't enjoy it. I don't even remember if I wanted to know what was going to happen. I just needed to finish that series in order to finish that series. But yeah, it wasn't for me, but I totally get why it is so many people's favorite. Then I've read The Lost Sisters and The Wicked King, so I believe The Wicked King is a sequel to The Cruel Prince or whatever. I gave up. The first book was like, I believe, a 3 stars because I love the dark twist in it and the dark like furries or whatever, but oh, I was bored. Nothing really interests me, etc. But I still gave it 3 stars. I don't know why now talking about it. So I wanted to continue with the series because a lot of people are actually loving it. So I read that novella kind of thing, Lost Sister. I was like, what the heck was that? Why did I just read that? And then the second one I was like, okay, there is only 1 book left, but there is no way I'm gonna read it. I don't fucking care. There is nothing else to say. This one's gonna actually surprise a lot of people, but the puppy war, it was just too intense for me. I wanted to love it, but I actually hated it. But not hated it like it was so bad and I'm mad, why did the author did that, whatever. No, because it has very heavy topic and I don't believe it is for everyone. And I was probably not in the best mindset place to actually listen to that. I just couldn't. I finished it, but I didn't enjoy it at all. I didn't love it at all. Even in a broken heart kind of way, you know, sometimes you hate a story because it was so sad, but at the same time you loved it because it was beautiful. It wasn't for me, so I'm not gonna read the sequel. This one is a book I would not recommend to a lot of people. I went into that book with high expectations, which is something I should not do. But basically it is an Anastasia retelling, so I was expecting it to be amazing. And actually here you have, I don't remember everything, but you have different kind of powers. Blood power, water power, I cannot remember. And you have the main character who actually is escaping her kingdom, and she's like, yeah, I'm the best, I have the strongest power, I can do everything by myself and blah blah blah, you know, that kind of actually heroine you can get to like. And she's gonna do stupid things. She's gonna trust someone she just met. She's gonna do things that don't make any sense. She's just gonna be like, I'm the best, but not show you that. She's gonna be like a talker but not a shower, if that makes any sense. And that actually bothered me to hell. To hell. I heard more bad reviews than good reviews, but there is a sequel, and when I saw the sequel I was like, okay, maybe the sequel is better, maybe I should read the sequel. And I'm like, Sasha, you're gonna unhold that book, okay? And you're not gonna read the sequel of a first book you didn't like. You don't have time for this. Hopefully I will not pick up the sequel. Then Anxious for Nothing or whatever, I didn't enjoy it because it was too repetitive, super short, it was obvious and didn't bring anything out from what I already knew. And it was an audiobook, it's about self-help, so yeah, nothing else to tell you. I don't even remember exactly what it was about. Then we have this one, Murder, Most and Ladylike. So we read it for the Middle Grade book club, monthly book club. And actually, so many things in this one were problematic for me. The toxic relationship, the fat shaming, using your friends to your own ends. I mean, so many things were wrong in this book. And I really wished at the end we would be like, okay, the behavior you just read about, it's not good. This is not what you should do. No, that didn't happen. And I know a lot of people said that the series is actually getting better, etc. That's such a shame because I love that edition, like, and the blue spread edges, and I believe they all have spread edges, and this is a freaking long series. But I'm just like, I don't want to continue with a series when the first one was that problematic. It wasn't that I didn't enjoy it. I found it honestly problematic. If it's your favorite, fine, that's fine. I mean, I'm glad you like it. It's just not for me. So let's move on. The next book was actually a joke. It was the Ballad, those songbirds and snakes or whatever. So this is like a novella, a prequel of the Hunger Games series or whatever. So I was not planning on reading it, and actually I filmed a video saying that I will not read that one because I was not interested in it, especially because I wasn't a big fan of the Hunger Games. And then actually it was a pick for a book club, and I was invited by Cindy, her channel is going to be linked that below, to actually read that book and talk about it in the live. I read it, and actually at the very beginning I was like super hyped. I was like, okay, this is actually not that bad. I loved it, and I wanted to see Snow becoming the villain he was, and I wanted to understand more, and I wanted to see more, and I loved the little bits we got from the Hunger Games series. I know it annoyed a lot of people, but I actually enjoyed when there were songs coming in that prequel, etc. I really enjoyed that. But then after I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense, this is going way too fast, this is not the love story, he's actually using her, and oh my gosh, I was just so bored and mad at the end for spending so many hours actually reading a book, because I wanted that to be another series. Imagine reading a series of someone you know is gonna be a villain becoming a villain step by step, like very psychological kind of heavy books. I wanted that, and it was not that. It was going way too fast. He came there and decided to change some rules, and everything changed because he was asking for them to change, and blah blah blah. And I was like, what the heck, this is not how you do that. So I was mad because I was expecting to love it when I started it, but I was really disappointed. Then this one, The Court of Miracles, beautiful edition. I got a special edition because I wanted to, I don't know, I thought I would actually love it. It is not a sign, right? No, it's not signed, but I don't know if it was like Waterstones, whatever. The book is actually gorgeous. Gorgeous, and I want to keep it, but at the same time I want to unhold it because I'm not gonna pick up the sequel because there is a sequel. This is a series, but the book is gorgeous, so I'm like, I might take a few pictures of it and then sell it. I don't know, but I cannot remember what it was about. I was bored from the very beginning. I didn't care. I think it has to do with a girl who has to save her daughter, and there is some kind of heist, and she goes to one person. Then I cannot remember. I was bored. I didn't care, but it sounded amazing, so I wanted a special edition to show it even more love, but nope. Then this one that I got in an unplugged book box sounded amazing. I wasn't that intrigued in that book, but at the same time I was intrigued. Like, it was just a weird feeling, but it was short, so I was like, okay. And I believe we read it for the Howling pack at some point. It basically has to do with mermaids, modern mermaids, and I really loved some heavy topic that we talked about, because we talk about police violence against the Black community, and from what I've heard from the Black community, it was well handled. But the rest, like the magic system, I have so many questions, and I love having questions because it makes me like want to read more, and it means that I'm interested, that I'm intrigued, that I care. But not getting any answer to any of my questions and just saying it and explaining it like it's obvious but I just don't understand made me actually mad. Like, there is some kind of characters in that story that is, I don't even remember the name of the character, but slash creature, whatever, and I'm like, okay, but this is a blah blah blah, so that's normal, they're acting that way. And I'm just like, why is it normal? I don't have any backstory. So that actually annoyed me quite a lot. Overall, the whole concept and writing style I had no issue with. I just needed more answers to my questions, and that actually bothered me. Reading something I don't understand doesn't always work for me. So it's gonna be in an whole video. I mean, probably all the books here. Then this one, which is kind of a surprise, maybe, I don't know, but this is a sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire. Girls of Paper and Fire, I gave it 3 stars. I found the concept very interesting. So you have different casts of characters. Let's say you have the Moon cast, which are animals looking human, yeah, who are actually animals who are just looking like animals but they are humans. Then you have the Sibo cast, who are humans with animals attribute, and then you have the Paper cast, who are human looking human. You know, the Moon cast king wants every single year or every 2 years, whatever, 10 girls from the Paper cast to use them as sex slaves, basically. So heavy subject, and the topic wasn't like the happiest or whatever, but it was still intrigued, and the magic system in it was interesting. The world building was interesting. Some of the characters were good. There is an LGBT representation as well. So it was like, okay, that's gonna be a good book. But actually I was bored. It was interesting, but I wasn't like involved in the story. I didn't care. I wasn't like predicting what was going to happen. I wasn't like, oh no, that's gonna happen with that character. I just didn't care, and I wasn't impressed. And I read that one and I was even less impressed, and I was like, and there is only one book left. So I'm like, I'm gonna read it. Yes, no, because I have 2 beautiful like editions. I think I might sell the first edition and this one. The first one is pink, rainbow kind of thing here with pink spread edges, and then this one I might sell them because this one has actually 2 covers. A cover like this, and then a second one with print on the inside of the jacket, and it is signed, so I might sell it. I wasn't impressed. And the last one is one I actually talked a few times recently, like in my wrap up and blah blah blah. So this one is There Will Come a Darkness. I found the whole concept here not that interesting actually, and especially because you have so many characters here, so many point of views, and you have so many stories within stories, and I just couldn't keep track of anything. I wrote down everything like I was thinking while reading it because it was actually a buddy read. For me, it was a bundle of cliche stories and very tropey stories. The prince who needs to hide because his kingdom is being attacked. Then you have the 2 sisters who are trying to escape a bad past and trying to survive. Then you have the 2 brothers who are fighting each other, etc. It was just like a bundle of very tropey and cliche stories for me. I honestly don't know if a lot of you enjoyed it or hated it, or just like me didn't care at all. The cover is gorgeous. It makes absolutely sense. There is a sequel that came out recently, I think in 2020. I don't want to read it. I might hold this book, and I feel bad because I really wanted to read it. It wasn't for me. That said, Wolves, I think this video is going to be pretty short, or not as long as the one in which I talk about all the books I love. I don't know which one I'm gonna upload first, but yeah, I'm happy actually with 2020. I didn't not enjoy that many books. I mean, 12 books is not that much out of 91 books I've read, so I'm quite happy about that. Also, let me know if you read any of the books I mentioned, if you love them or if you did not enjoy them as much as you thought you would like me. Mention one book that really disappointed you in 2020 in the comment section. I would be curious to know, so I might try to avoid those books, or maybe exactly exactly the opposite. Pick it up because it sounds like it's gonna be my favorite, even if not your favorite. But yeah, also, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be a part of the pack. Talk to me in the comment section as usual. And until next time, take care, Wolves. Bye.